First, let's start with the biggest news coming out of the NHL. Obviously, Commissioner Gary Bettman announced a return-to-play plan that will consist of 24 teams, and that will include the Rangers. Now, there's no confirmed dates yet, but the return-to-play is at least has a plan in place. So, Coach, what's your reaction to that news?
Well, we're just excited about the progress that we continue to make and hopefully inevitably playing in a playoff series. And obviously it's a difficult time in the world today. And, you know, obviously the NHL has been working hand in hand with the government to do this in the proper way and the safest way possible. So, you know, we're just excited that a plan has been laid out. There's obviously talk about phase 2 starting within the next week. But again, we're just excited about the fact that we've made some progress.
You know, Quinn, a term that we're hearing a lot right now is just, is it fair? And I have that discussion with my children every day. It's very difficult. I sound like my father. But when you saw everything come back with the return to play plans, did you feel like it was overly fair, overall fair? I thought so.
You know, Steve, I think we all have to be very careful when we're talking about fair, because when I think about fair right now, I think about the 100,000 people that have lost their lives and the loved ones that have been affected by it. I think about the first responders who have been exposed to this terrible disease mentally and physically. I think about the 30, 40 million people that have filed for unemployment. I think about the small and big businesses that have been shut down. I think about the seniors that are in high school and college that will never experience one of life's great moments. So I think we all have to be very sensitive to the word fair. And we've been very fortunate that we continue to play a game that we love and coach a game that we love. But, you know, I understand fairness in the small context of our sport, but I think we all have to keep the word fair in perspective.
Yep.
Just to follow up quickly, Coach, it is a pretty exciting opportunity, though, for your team to be in this position. You know, they were rolling when the season stopped. So just from an emotional standpoint, when you heard the news, were you guys pretty excited? I have to imagine everyone's been pretty happy to hear this.
Yeah, we all were excited about the good news that we're able to play again, have a chance to play again anyway. And, you know, we've been in constant contact with our players over the last 2.5 months, and our guys are excited about the possibility of playing again. As we've talked an awful lot about in our previous shows, our guys are in a good mindset. We're feeling really good about the way we were playing. And, you know, we're, like I said, I mean, this has been a tough time for everybody, but our guys are starting to turn up, hopefully turn up their workouts and getting a little bit more focused, because we're getting closer to reality that we might play again.
Just as you alluded to a few moments ago, the NHL is slowly entering into phase 2, starting more or less in early June. So small group workouts will be permitted at team training centers. So a little bit more detail on that return to play plan, at least. But you've obviously never been in this situation before. So how are you approaching phase 2?
Yeah, phase 2, the players will basically be on their own, because, you know, they're going through something they've never gone through before. They've never gone this long without skating, most of them anyway. So we really have to lay off and give them an opportunity to kind of get their legs under them again. You know, their groins and their hips are going to be probably the most vulnerable through this time. On top of the conditioning piece, we want to make sure that we stay healthy. I think that's going to be an important piece of this puzzle here, you know, when we ease back into it, hopefully. So we're going to let them, you know, go at their own pace during that phase 2 stage. And we also have to be careful if we do inevitably get to stage 3, where we do have a training camp, that we don't want to try to do too much too soon. There's going to be that, you know, the human nature, the inclination to try to get going right away, but we have to be a little bit more sympathetic and understanding of the situation that's at hand.
Yeah, Quinn, I can imagine at 4:31, after you heard the announcement for the return to play, you were probably already looking at Carolina. And I wonder how much thought maybe you've already put into how important the power play is going to be when the season resumes, because I can imagine that everybody's going to be a step slower, might be a few more power plays, and maybe in phase 2, do you have 5 players skating together that have to be skating together week to week? All of your power play guys, would they possibly skate together? That's my question.
Yeah, we would certainly like and hope to get guys on the ice, if you're allowed 6, to get groups of 6 that might, you know, like you said, whether it be a power play or, you know, whether having a line or things of that nature. But there's going to be, you know, those groups of 6, it sounds like it's going to be for at least 2 to 3 weeks where they're going to be able to play together. So those skates have to be purposeful, not just out there, you know, killing time. And we've got to take advantage of the opportunity to skate together, even though the coaches won't be able to be on the ice. But you know, we'll certainly, hopefully our guys will be out there and doing some of the things that are going to be practical when it comes to dropping the puck.
Can this type of experience, especially like you said, phase 2 players more or less kind of have to take their own initiative here. Could this be one of those opportunities for just the leaders to continue to emerge on your team and to see them kind of bond together in this time?
Without question, I think our guys did a great job of that as the season was evolving. As we talked about, there was a lot of uncertainty when our season started. And I think as our team started gelling and time went on and we spent more time together, I think our leadership core kind of evolved. And I thought they did a really good job as the season went on. And I think this is going to be an opportunity for them to kind of take the bull by the horns here during this time where the coaches won't be able to be on the ice and kind of lead by example and, take advantage of this opportunity to even elevate our leadership core.
Quinny, you've got the unique setup too, where you've got 3 great goalies that you can lean on in the first series, but you also have guys that it's broken up into small groups. Everybody's shooting on a really good NHL goalie, and I think that's going to go a long way for you as well. When you look at the season that you had and you look at February and the huge jump that you took as a team there, was that one of the most, surprising moments of the season, having Shesterkin starting off 9-1 and start to carry the mail that way?
I don't want to take anything away from Igor, but I thought as a team we were going in the right direction. I thought we felt that we were going to make that next jump as a team after the break. And he certainly came up here and played very, very well, as we've talked an awful lot about. But, we were really feeling good about the direction we were going. And we felt very good about our goaltending. But as we talked about, Igor kind of forced our hand in a lot of ways with the way he played down in Hartford. It wasn't so much what, Hank and Georgie weren't doing. I mean, this was a guy that, was clearly head and shoulders the best goalie in the American Hockey League, who had a pedigree unlike anybody else in the American Hockey League. And, he forced our hand. And, he came in and did what he needed to do, and we continued to play well. And when that happened, that all added up to a 9-1 start.